Hello YouTube, this is Dakota from Bowtied Media, and today we've got a brand new installment of This Week in EDM, where we go over songs that came out this past week in EDM. How self-explanatory is that? As always, there's a Spotify link down below, and just remember these are just my opinions. Do not take them as gospel truth. Big week, ton of great releases. Let's hop into it. Starting us off in the bad category is the David Guetta and Hypaton remix of RAYE's Where Is My Husband? So my sister actually introduced me to this original song, and ever since then I have come to really love it. Honestly, one of my favorite songs of the year. But this remix isn't doing it for me. It has got this kind of generic dance beat while butchering RAYE's incredible vocal performance. Just go listen to the original. Then we got Getter with MIKICHAN 3.5. Honestly, just a weird track. It has this like commercial trap production paired with this like super high pitched up vocals that give it a very like marshmallow vibe. The song feels awkward at times and directionless at others. I don't know, not feeling this one. We got Gryffin and YDG with The Feeling. Holy generic Batman, this thing has nothing new under the sun. It's light for even melodub standards, says absolutely nothing vocally, and is void of any emotions despite the title being The Feeling. And then hopping into the meh category, we've got Justin Blau with DLCD3. Blau is, I guess, now trying to rebrand as this kind of full name and tackling this dark, moody techno sound that is already overblown in the EDM space. It's such a whatever tune. We got Alan Walker with Sailing, a heavily orchestral track from Alan Walker that has a lot of the Fat Rat influences. It has a generic house beat under all of it, and I ultimately feel like this track just fails to elicit any emotions one way or another. Then we got Flux Pavilion with Too Fast, Too Stop. Flux's latest 3 releases have now been various remixed versions of his mega hit, I Can't Stop. This time it's to the tune of dance floor drum and bass. In a vacuum, the thing is fine, maybe even just a little boring, but within the context of the other releases, I gotta ask what we're doing here. Why are we getting all of these VIPs of I Can't Stop now? And do we really need all these different versions? I feel like I'd rather just have him throw them all into one remix compilation and call it a day. Then we got Sugah and Grace Barton with The Speaker. A pretty generic and straightforward dance floor drum and bass tune for me. Not really, I don't know, feeling this one again. Feels pretty generic. I feel like I've listened to a lot of drum and bass lately. I don't know if it's just me, but a lot of it sounds like this. Then we got Alison Wonderland with Floating Away, the least exciting of the singles released so far from this album, as Alison Wonderland tackles a fairly linear tech house sound with an unchanging beat. A nice tune, but again, not doing too much. Then we've got Said the Sky with Gotta Get to You from the new Close to the Sun album out now by Said the Sky. I somewhat ironically felt that the less EDM-y singles on this record were some of the more interesting and standout ones. That's not to say that this release single is bad by any means, just a more typical song structure and flow. In a great way, it reminds me a lot of actually Passion Pit. Then we got ALLEYCVT and Level Up with Believe. A bro step first drop with a speed house second that is kind of, again, overwhelmingly okay. Both sections felt relatively formulaic within their each genres, while vocally across the whole thing, it sort of just is. So then we are hopping into the good category. We've got Metrik and Grafix with Waves from the new Awake LP out now by Metrik. This track is a fairly safe drum and bass one with a lighthearted and not so serious nature. Nothing too crazy, but solid. We got LP Giobbi and House Gospel Choir with Figure It Out, an infectious new disco tune with a great supporting vocal from the House Gospel Choir. The pairing of Giobbi's piano work and those vocals are magical at times. Then we got AMNES featuring Lena with Purest Omen. I don't know, a really fascinating drum and bass tune that sounds very similar in style to Imanu. It has some wonky elements with a lot of weird sound design pieces that I really enjoy, yet the core production stays fairly straightforward. A neat tune for sure. Then we got Pauline Herr and Lizdek with All for Nothing. This song starts as this kind of fairly typical dance club house tune with these bright synth chords, but quickly morphs into this more like hardstyle leaning thumping track. I actually really love the back end of this track more than the first and wish that area was explored more. We got Delta Heavy with Substance. While the production on this is fairly typical Delta Heavy, the narrative here is pretty nuts. Essentially, it's your drugs talking to you after they've been consumed in this very eerie manner. As someone that dabbles in recreational drugs from here and there, it's almost scary to hear it presented this way. Then we got Hex Cougar with Hexifornia 2. This is a long 5-minute journey of a tune with some funk and techno, but ultimately lands the plane on an overall trap sound to give it that overarching kind of California aesthetic. It's a fun track with lots of twists and turns, and even though it keeps itself relatively calm and true to that trap sound, I think it's got a lot going for it. We got Sub Focus featuring Poppy Bascombe with So Many Colors. A typical Sub Focus track, which isn't a bad thing by any means. It's a solid drum and bass cut, but one that we've heard for sure, especially from this guy. We got Memba featuring Lyra with Borders from the new Above Ground LP by Memba. Another clean and polished Memba trap cut. They are definitely in their sweet spot with this album, and it is showing for sure. Then we got Skrillex, Dylan Brady, and Caroline Polachek with Hit Me Where It Hurts. This is essentially a VIP of Zeet Noise off of FU Skrillex with a 6-year-old Caroline Polachek sample, so it's not anything entirely new, but I do still enjoy it. A little repetitive at times, but overall a fun club-centric tune. Then we got Mango and Cloud Cage with Snow Globe, a beautiful organic house tune from these two. Atmosphere is serene and calming, as it seemingly always is from these two. Again, nothing super earth-shattering here, just excellence in motion. Then we've got Teddy Killers with Hybrid from this new AB double-sided single release. A tune that is very much aligned with Teddy Killer's signature drum and bass sound. But this time with some needed flair, as there's a ton of variety in melody here, and even this mini techno finale. Cascade with I Can't Make You Love Me from another AB double-sided single release. A very disco-inspired progressive house tune that is definitely going for that 70s disco vibe, just with a modern house beat underneath it. It's a neat tune that keeps things quite steady. Then we've got Imanu with Falling Apart. I am not sure there is an artist that delivers as much consistency as Imanu does. This track is a neat tandem of breaks and garage that maintains a ton of wub and dub. The vocals here have this off-kilter nature to them that supports what it's trying to say narratively, which is a little off-putting at first, but I quickly got used to it. Then we've got Shopkeeper with Ghosts. A Cloudy Skies more explicitly EDM alias is here with another more dense kind of grooving tune that has a ton of deep, intentional distortion that packs a real punch. It's heavier than I expected it to go, but damn, I am loving this one. And we've got Cruella with Eternal. Cruella is continuing its more kind of, their more melodic approach to their production with this second bright single of the year. This time with a dance floor drum and bass tune. And I must say that I'm really feeling this new direction if it continues this way, being more melodic and bright. Even though I feel that drum and bass is a little stale right now, they've kept things fresh with lots of stuttering vocals and a bright sound palette. Then we got Forrester with What Is It Like? New Forester track with a lot more of a commanding melody and bass line than is in their typical style of production. The track is a little bit more on the heavier side of things, and I actually think it's one of their stronger songs in quite some time. It's vibey, feels unique, and definitely stands out within their discography. Then we got Grizz and Tape B featuring Craig with Light You Up, a modern dubstep banger through and through. These two have sound palettes that really gel well together, with Grizz's more raw style of production, while Tape B just, I don't know, knows exactly what makes a truly great dubstep tune in 2025, with those dense growls and ever-changing melodies. Then we got Lamorne with Blip. Lamorne has such a special blend of electro and progressive house that feels rooted in early 2010s aesthetics, but doesn't sound at all dated. There is even lots of French house going on here, which I particularly have a real affinity for. Then we've got the Virtual Riot remix of Divide, originally by Phase 1 and Intervals, featuring Micah Martin from the new Terra Nova remixes. Divide was the best song for Virtual Riot to tackle from this record because it's the track that I think from the original album had the most potential. Virtual Riot brings a unique blend of colorful production and heavier dubstep that gives this track the feeling that could easily have landed on Stealing Fire, Virtual Riot's own record. And moving into the standout category, we've got Seven Lions and Halion with Cold as Snow. I am really in love with this track. I love the long build into climactic finale. Structurally, this style of song is a personal favorite of mine. Halion absolutely crushed these vocals, while the production elevated those vocals to another level. This really isn't your typical EDM or even Seven Lions track, and I think that's part of its charm. Then we've got Kompany and TYNAN with On Fire. As the title implies, these gentlemen were on fire producing this thing. Even for a non-rhythm enjoyer like myself typically, this is a truly special tune. I love the minor chords with the almost eerie aesthetics, and I love the real variety from drop to drop. Everything about the song just clicked, and these boys cooked up something fantastical. Then we got Robyn with Dopamine. Robyn is back and primed for what could be her best album yet. Robyn is the quintessential artist to blend the kind of late 90s and 2020 synth pop. It's spacey, vibrant, even ethereal at times. This is just the first single of an upcoming record that I am now incredibly excited for. Then we got Charli xcx with Chains of Love. Already 2 singles into her next album cycle that will be Wuthering Heights, based off of a Bronte sister book, she narratively here explores the sense of being trapped in a relationship while the backing production is this kind of spaced out, more atmospheric electropop. This feels like it could easily be the soundtrack for a climax of a blockbuster rom-com. I will say that also the first single, House, was wild and incredibly artistic, and it feels like it's going to serve as a primarily narrative element to the album. I am super excited to see where this thing goes, and I think it's going to be more of a conceptual piece. And the emerging artist spotlight goes to an artist that hopefully many of you know, Giobbi, with their track Seeing Red. Potentially the most pleasing tear-out song I have heard. It's got that intensity and grit to it, but by keeping that lead melody relatively steady, it gives the rest of the track more time to shine, and I don't know, you mainly go to tear out for that bass line, and that bass line is crunchy. But that's been This Week in EDM. Let me know what you guys think of any and all songs in the comment section below. But other than that, I'm Dakota from Bowtied Media, and I'll see you guys in another